you have a chance to look at the minutes? Any changes, thoughts, corrections?
No, they're very good signs.
So
Thank you.
we'll have a motion to approve the minutes as stated.
Second? Want me to make a motion first?
Motion? Yep. And
Motion.
second.
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 All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. So minutes have passed.
Awesome.
And do we want to move on to anybody from the public?
We do not have
Want to
anyone.
make a comment? Okay. Hearing none, we'll close the floor to the public. Any old business that we need to attend to?
Yeah, well, not to necessarily tend to, but I did want to update you guys. You have this lovely pie chart in front of you. This was our survey that we put out to the community to see kind of what everyone wanted to see as our first kind of branded art piece, if you will. Sea turtles very clearly were the winner here. And so we're not quite ready to have a discussion on this one just because we've got so much else to get through, but I did want to give you guys this so you could see how that worked out. This survey was open for over a month. We received, close to 300 submissions on it, and received, quite frankly, a lot of positive input. What's not reflected on here is several, so these are the only responses that people were able to click. You'll see there was 209 of those. We had another, I guess about 80 where people wrote in random various animals. So, but yes, we will talk more about this next month and get a plan together.
Okay, great. Anything else?
No, not from us.
Okay, new business. I think the plan for today is to dive into what seems to be a quite large pool of submissions
Yes.
for our first sculpture. And so, given the time constraints and the fact that it's probably more interesting to look at that than listen to me, let's dive in.
Okay. All right. So dive right into this. All right. So just to kind of recap what we're going to do, it's a little bit of the review process. We sent you guys all of the applicants, so thank you for looking at those. I know that was a bit overwhelming. We received your ratings back. We have then combined the top candidates kind of across the board. If for some reason we get through this and you feel that one was left off that should be in there, or you have more questions, or maybe our minds change, it's very easy. We can tweak as we need. So these, I received 4 committee member scores. So these 2 candidates that we're about to review were unanimous across all committee members, that you guys were in some way in favor of this. So this one, this is the Big Wave, and the interior is illuminated. It's got individual prismatic stainless steel sheets spaced apart, and so at night you can kind of see in that middle picture on the right, it glows from the inside. We'll have to make sure, and we'll work with whoever is selected and make sure that it's not considered lights by, make sure we're far enough away and that we're not running into any issues there, but we will make sure of that. Again, this is just a little bit, this is what they wrote. It's about 19 feet tall, 8 feet in its largest diameter. Gives you a little more about the materials, and a little bit about what inspired them, the water, the movement, changing environment. And then something that I added with all the candidates on these is going to be their portfolio, because pretty much every candidate at this stage, their portfolio was phenomenal. This candidate is located in Statesboro, Georgia, and these are the works that they've actually done already. So again, you can see they have a lot of experience with that steel, with the illumination from within. They've done several public pieces. They've done some, I believe, in Georgia Southern. They've done some up north with different cities. So they're very familiar with this process. And in front of you guys, I did put with that spreadsheet a little score sheet and it's all in order. So it's got the candidate number and then what you guys think and any notes, and everything is in order. All right, so top right corner, this is a local artist.
Just as a, sorry.
Yep.
Going back, well, we reviewed the score sheet has 16 candidates. Is that what we're
condense
You
these.
condense
Yeah.
those, okay? Gotcha.
And like I said, if for some reason there's one that's not in this group that you feel like maybe should be, or it was really important, you know, we can make edits, but these were the ones that pretty much were kind of unanimous, everyone had in their top.
Great.
That was one of the biggest, just overall sizes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I noticed that as well.
That was like one of the largest ones.
yes, yeah, yeah.
Overall size.
Even though, that's sort of a variable,
Right, it just goes up.
because I notated on a lot of these sculptures that it would be more monumental if it were larger, that's what sculpture means to me, is monumental, you know? But, you're right, I
That
mean,
particular one, looking at it all,
Yeah.
that was one of the largest ones.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, our next candidate will be the second one on the list provided. This is a local artist. Just wanted to give that tidbit. So they proposed 5 different concepts, and pretty unanimously across the board, I believe it was this one, Swirl, seemed to be the one that kind of pulled everybody's attention.
That was mine.
Again, this person is local to the area. They've actually, they do a lot of work with UNS and the sculpture program there. Swirl was one of the favorites, and then I believe All the Fish in the Sea was another one that had a couple of them. And again, this one is approximately 19 feet tall. So this is, as far as scale goes, essentially the same size as the first one. Like I said, she's located out here at the beaches. She's done international work and national work. And here is her portfolio. A lot of very recognizable pieces to the area, for sure.
And I mean, for it, it's abstract, it's really, you know, capable to hold up to 100-mile-an-hour wind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, it's stainless steel, what are
Yeah,
those?
that looked,
Powder coated aluminum.
Yeah.
that looks, it just looked a little frail to me.
And Trey, this might be a
Fish.
question for you, but the powder coated aluminum, that's gonna hold up a lot better than the stainless steel with
Well,
the,
no, they'd probably be about the same.
okay,
The color might vary, but the stainless steel, and most of the ones, they're not even painted,
okay,
some of them.
interesting. Okay,
I think that, like I say, it's big, but for an abstract, it's gonna have to be something like that, not
yeah.
some of the other ones that look like the top of the trophy.
And I did want to notice, or note a couple of things. She said the scale can be edited, the color options can vary, and then benches, bike racks, and et cetera, could be designed to complement this structure. So she was really submitting to focus on the structure, but then also, you know, made sure to include that she was open to editing designs and expanding to add features that complement this as well.
For something like this, would we run the risk of, say, a child or somebody running against that, hurting themselves, getting caught?
Caught up in it.
Or trying to climb
I s-
on it.
I
Right.
saw a lot of them like that. That my concern was getting hung up in,
Right, sure.
because people aren't going to just look, they're going to touch,
I
and
think
they're going to,
It's gonna have to be raised up enough
Yeah.
where they can't really climb up the pedestal to get up onto
That's-
it.
that would be,
You know, like at 6, that dolphin structure is actually up on its pedestal, so you
Yeah.
really can't get to the actual sculpture
Okay.
easily. I mean,
And
that's what I envisioned on that.
I don't think, and I could be wrong, but I don't think they have a ton of issues at the UNF sculpture or the garden, excuse me, down there. And the person that submitted this does have issues very intertwined with that, so I don't believe they've had a whole lot of trouble. But that doesn't mean it's not gonna happen. Valid point,
It definitely is. And I think the pedestal, they raising it, and
okay?
it's like some of the ones that had like that wall going all the way around, you can just tell people are gonna be climbing up it.
So this next kind of batch, 3 of the 4 that submitted their scores, scored these very high. This is the first one.
I kind of, you know, the light part kind of like, with the turtle nesting thing, it sort of eliminated that one for me. I'm like,
Yeah,
it's kind of cool, but we don't need like 25, 30 street lights all condensed in one area. You know, it might not,
That was kind of my concern.
it might not work so well here.
Was just the about the fact
I
that.
had it in my top ten just because it looked like.
Well, the tallest on that.
Yeah,
is 45 feet.
yeah.
It's very
But just
cool.
wrong place, wrong time, you
Well, I
know?
just wondered, do the
Think about
bulbs
it,
have to be 1,000 watts, or can they be more convenient?
But I mean, there's 30, 40 of them, there's 35 bulbs there, I don't, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it would
the
have to be
amount
amber.
would add up to
A lot of light.
a lot of light.
Well, I know that would light that whole corner up and stuff, it's right there in front of the sneakers and stuff.
What is the,
I put it in mine.
what's the
Yeah,
barrier?
is it like-
500 feet.
Yeah.
500 feet,
It's
was this-
either 500 feet or visible from the beach, so I would have concerns that
Yeah.
at some angle, this might be visible. from
Yeah.
Just between,
Right there
you know,
on-
the lifeguard
It's
station.
on Beach Boulevard,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, it's possible it could be
Yeah.
visible. We'd have to go
It
out
was in
there.
mine, I thought it would be something that people would definitely be okay with, it's
Yeah.
not over dramatic, it's just, you know what I'm saying? And it would
Um,
light the corner up and.
Well, one question I had was whether there, you know, there are already streetlights in that roundabout,
Uh-huh,
which, would this be overkill, because it's not really in a dark place?
might be. I did want this, in talking about the background, it just made me think a conversation that we were having, because we also went through these with the city manager, and he brought up a great point. You know, we are going out for a request for qualifications for a public-private partnership to build a massive, you know, a large parking garage mixed-use structure that will be literally basically right behind this. And so something that he mentioned when we were considering these was to kind of keep in mind that whatever is there is gonna potentially be against, you know, a large structure, and so the bigger, bolder, brighter, just something that makes it stand out, kind of being against, a development.
I did, that was definitely my, this is my top ten, just because
Yeah.
it's light, it's,
Okay.
people would get along with it.
And here are the, portfolio for this candidate. They've got some really unique stuff.
And it was what, Maryland or something?
Maine.
Maine.
Portland.
Yep.
Another question I had, you know, again, I say it with the caveat that I like the piece, with all that different metal, would it deteriorate more quickly? No.
Okay. And that thing, if you read it, it's like smaller,
Yeah.
smaller. Hopefully they do like class, we won't have old lights out there.
All right. This next candidate, they are proposing a 11 to 13 foot wide and 10 to 12 foot tall octopus. And I think one of the things that, you know, we noticed about this particular candidate, they're in Houston, Texas, but it was the details on their work. The drawing was cool, but looking at, you know, again, the strong portfolio and the detailed work, and then on her website, she actually comes to the community that she's doing the sculpture in, and then likes to get, like, so where that wolf is, the dirt and gravel underneath it, she makes a mold of that texture, and utilizes that texture in the actual sculptures, which I thought was really, really cool.
I really like that one, that was in my top 10. The, you know, just from the drawing, until I read, you know, 11 to 13 feet in height, 10 to 12 feet in width, that's substantial.
It's a cracking.
And if it's done with near the realism as the other pieces in the portfolio, it'd be quite impressive.
Yeah.
Nothing in the portfolio looked that big.
Yes, that's exactly right.
And.
But that's what-
Go back to the people climbing on it and stuff.
Yeah, it would have to be, you know, elevated. All these sculptures have to be, you know, on pedestals of some sort. I mean, otherwise they're gonna be park benches, which,
Right, and
you know,
anybody,
might not.
anybody climbing on that's gonna scald their hand or their.
Yeah.
Right.
Or get frozen to it.
Or freeze to it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
Seems ambitious, but very nice.
All right, here's our next one. Really cute seahorse. And portfolio is, again,
Yeah.
pretty incredible,
Yeah.
but, yeah, that whale is
Yeah, there just wasn't enough information in the proposal with, you know,
okay.
With both of these, this one and the one before, you know, given the survey that we looked at, and we'll talk about next time, we don't have seahorses, we don't really have octopus either. So, do we
Yeah.
have that be a focal point there?
Good point.
Or, and that it's not a sea creature that we see here very often.
Yeah, great point.
I like this one too.
Yes, this was a fan favorite.
Yeah, I like that one.
They're in St. Petersburg, and again, their portfolio was quite impressive, to say the least. All of these portfolios were really good.
Taylor, what was the number on that one?
That one is 9388, or the last four.
9388?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And I think, like, in my, when I was in my top 10, just what you were just, the comment you just made, I took it out because there's really no novels, you know.
Fair enough, okay, for the same reason, yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever I was trying to get from my 16 to, it ended up not making the final
Yeah.
cut because we just don't have novelist shows watching.
Okay,
Yeah, but still, it doesn't need to, yeah, it's awesome sculpture and, it's
It's
kind of,
universal.
it's universal, exactly.
it's peachy.
And it's a variation off the sea turtle thing a little bit, you know, so that we are,
I agree. And
Really
I went down
nice
the
and
center, it wouldn't matter where it was, it still was really impressive.
yeah.
Okay. All right, this is the next one. We kind of noted on this one, you know, even if it wasn't necessarily the favorite design, the time that the artist took to, those colors that they used that are exactly identical to our brand standards. And then, it's hard to tell, but this top piece is our logo, and then this is the actual pavilion with a concert happening, surfing, Ferris wheel, boardwalk. So, whether it was number one or not, they at least did a lot of research and homework. They are located in Miami, and again, here's their portfolio.
I liked his other sculpture better than the proposed one. I mean, it almost reminded me of the sign we already have at
Right.
Beach and Third.
Yeah.
You know,
I thought the
welcome
same
to the
thing.
beach, and
Yeah.
it seemed a bit redundant to, you know, to me at least.
Mm-hmm.
What I liked about this one was the fact that it did give a sense of place.
Yeah.
So that, you know, getting the pavilion and the
Yeah.
boardwalk and surfing and that stuff in there is,
Yeah, something that I think people would be expecting to see. I mean, I hate to go for the public, but
well, and it definitely is something that you can imagine people wanting to stop and take their picture because they came to Jack's Beach.
they would, I'm just saying, I think it wouldn't be controversy, like, what is that?
That's true.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
You know?
And the CRA wayfinding signage plan, the majority of those signs in the wayfinding signage plan are some variation of surfboard. So that has kind of become one of our things, if you will, which our vice chair I know appreciates, even though he's not here. I'll make that statement for him. All right. Again, local artist on this one.
3765.
And so, including the foundation, this one will be about 14 and a half feet tall, and a 12-foot diameter.
I like the design of that one except for the squared off dolphin that just looked kind of like cookie cutter type, you know. If they had like real dolphin dimension to them, it would be
Yeah.
like top notch, like those.
Yeah, so this is their portfolio. So
This
these
is
are-
another one where the portfolio
Yes.
was just so much more outstanding than the proposal that they gave. I found that in half a dozen of them, you know.
I think the big takeaway with the portfolios, with the murals and these, quite frankly, is that obviously the candidate is capable of tweaking and editing and changing things to kind of fit more of the needs and desires.
You know, I like that one too, Taylor. I was wondering if, number one, there was a proposed water wall type of thing happening here. Okay? So, with what's possibly going on in Latham Plaza, do we need another water fountain?
I don't think that it has water on it, I think it's.
Yeah, I think it's just
symbol
symbolism.
Of water.
Yeah.
They don't have water actually running on it.
But there was, in his proposal, he did mention that cascading could incorporate water
Okay,
features
yeah.
such as
Could.
cascading or
Yeah.
circulating water. I would have liked to seen a variation in heights of those also. It looks very monolithic. It's really a cool sculpture. I liked it.
I think again, their portfolio is very strong.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I had that one selected also.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I like they also put in there, the sculpture can incorporate educational elements such as plaques or interactive displays to provide information on local water-related environmental issues.
Yeah.
Thought that was kind of cool.
It would have a front and a back.
This is 4847? Oh, 1132,
1132.
okay. I got it.
All right.
And I think that it has a front and a back and, you know, kind of defines the area.
Well, and it kind of begs you to interact with it a little bit,
Right.
like walk through it,
Yeah,
you know. This is one that you could actually see people getting up close to and sort of
What's the material?
interfacing with.
This is tile, I'm thinking it's probably concrete tile on it.
I'm thinking
It
it's
says
gotta be
concrete cladded-
similar to this, right here.
Yeah.
Concrete with
Yeah.
handmade ceramic tiles.
Yeah.
So I think it lasts and people couldn't climb on it or anything. Cause it's probably
They
slick.
still try.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, somebody's gonna try.
Hammocks hanging on it.
All right, so this next one, they have titled the Seashore Surprise. So this again is another one that's internally illuminated, and it's got 27 basically slices of conch shell.
I like the idea of this, but I looked at it and I said, somebody's gonna get trapped in that thing. I mean, it's
I mean,
A
Maybe
human-
it's not, maybe, I mean, it didn't look like.
a
it.
human fly trap. Somebody's gonna try to squeeze through there.
But-
I mean, if
but
they
it's-
do,
it
that's on
almost
them,
looks like
right?
it's-
I mean, if you're that
Yeah.
stupid,
Thank
sorry,
Thank
if
you.
you're that stupid, you deserve to get
It's
stuck.
hard to beat, okay? Well.
That's true, but.
So when you guys see me stuck there, keep driving. When I decide to test
Somebody
the
gonna try
theory.
to climb up the edge up there.
Yeah,
I mean, at some point we have to let these people leave themselves up.
Yeah, I agree.
yeah.
They become too protective.
And as
Well, the
far as
Darwin effect.
Yeah.
being monumental, again, from the front, it's about 21 feet wide, 18 feet tall, and then that back side is a little more narrow, but it's still 14 feet in width.
Yeah, it's big.
I like.
And so I added this for theirs, really, oh, of course. Okay, well, it's not gonna let me open it. They just had more detail on the actual metal and how it's a stainless steel form that's got some cast components that scale the inside and outside edges. And the blue tint, it's got those internal illumination. And so at night, it's not a bright light, but it glows. And they had some examples of that. It was really unique. And they also made note that each slice would be secured individually, anchored into a concrete pad, allowing it to withstand the weather we get here and somebody trying to climb it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, their portfolio is part of that presentation they had at the moment. I will make sure I get that to you guys so you can see. All right, this next one is a 10-foot tall, composed of 3 coral-shaped sculpture pieces and a rock-shaped base.
I liked it.
I did too.
Yeah. It's definitely colorful. It will stand out against a
Yeah.
structure. They are in Brooklyn. And this is their portfolio. It's very different than what they submitted, but it was
Yeah,
really,
the
really
proposal was better than the portfolio.
Right.
It was Crazy.
Which was the odd one out.
So rare.
Yeah.
It was the
I
opposite.
hate when you see a portfolio and then you click the slide and you're like,
So one thing I made a note of in my notes were, these colors coming down off of this cloud, the tones. You know, I think at least there it shows that they are very capable of creating those softer pastel tones, because they've got them right here, but that was really one of the only comparisons I drew between the portfolio and the proposal.
Will I hold up so much?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have lots of paint on that.
Yeah.
What's this one made of?
It's concrete, I think.
Yeah, I had a hard time reading the concrete base is what I 10 feet tall also isn't that big. It would be nicer, larger.
Larger.
Yeah, I
But-
think just the
And if you
coral
put
is
it
10
in
feet.
relation to the human there,
The
it's
base.
Well, that's
like
because
40 feet.
there's a pedestal involved,
Yeah,
which, you know, looks to be about 4 feet high, so, you know, maybe, but that's not really a good perspective shot. If it were that large, it would be monumental.
yeah. All right. This one.
I really like this one.
So in this, I do want to make note, we have not had a chance to do this because our police department has been very busy, but we wanted to, whatever we choose, especially if it had any component that was walled up, you know, anything that could create any hidden areas, we want to run everything through the police department. Doesn't mean it can't be selected, we just, I have that caveat that we definitely want to have a meeting with them.
But my hiding place with this, is that, I mean, you mentioned that on this one. There are a number of them that you can potentially hide in, and so,
Yeah,
are you singling out this one, or?
no, this one just jogged my memory because it's a wall. But for any of them. But this one again specifically, you know, the rest of them, they may be a tall structure, they may have a tall base, but it's pretty small to where if you're, you know, an officer in a car and you're driving by, you can pretty much see all the way around them. This one would potentially create an area that's almost completely hidden between the back of the wall and then the back of the potential parking garage structure where there would be no sight lines. So we just want to be mindful of that, and make sure whatever
Right.
we do.
I
we make-
liked, they mentioned utilizing glass or plexiglass, and it's very like, I like that idea for daylight, you know, infusion. But what wasn't mentioned, and it might solve the hiding problem, is some nighttime lighting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
almost that ground like.
That would be
lighting.
real effective with the glass. I'm not sure if the whole thing is intended to be made out of glass and plexiglass.
It says constructed of structural steel and strong translucent colorful material.
Translucent, colorful material,
I'm guessing it would have to be.
structural steel and a
Like
type
sand.
of strong, yeah.
I like the colors.
Yeah, and
Colors
they've
are
got some
beautiful.
on their portfolio that have that same,
Yeah,
It's
there.
their portfolio. That wood mammoth is really cool. It has nothing to do with our project. It's just really cool. All right. This one is called Dancing Waves, and their drawing was, you know, pretty much theirs was hand drawn, but it was very unique. It was scored high among 3 of you. So even though it was hand drawn, they did a really good job. You know, again, they just kind of talk a little bit about the metal work and exactly what they would be using. They would use some type of glass or acrylic. And then these are their samples. So they are very familiar with this kind of shape and work.
I'm worried on this one whether it's too flimsy isn't the word, but headed in that direction where it would be something that somebody would throw a rock through, or the wind would blow out a pane or something. I thought it would be hard to maintain and might be too not substantial enough.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Okay. All right, so these last 3 were kind of thrown in just because they either were 2 people's like top, their perfect score, and or staff also agreed, so these were kind of honorable mention. This one, and this is another one that's glowing from within.
This was in my top 10.
Yeah,
then it's a triangular shape, so pretty much about 3.
And again, even though it's a tall, solid structure, it's narrow enough where you're not gonna get to that issue of having, you know, zero visibility. It'll be pretty easy to see around something like that. They're in North Carolina, and their portfolio is another one that was pretty impressive. And I think this downtown Coral Springs kind of gives an idea of what that illuminated, you know, from the inside would kind of look like. It glows, it's not a bright light. This is a local artist. They submitted 2 variations of a wave with a surfboard that you could stand behind with animals and shells and things affixed to the ground. This is a kind of monumental structure. And again, they are local. They said that the tree elements would be approximately 16 to 20 feet, depending on the final proportions. And the human in the image is scaled to be 5'8" for comparison. Kind of show you.
Wouldn't that kind of go against the Jack's Beach logo? I don't know how the city would allow that to go through.
It kind of looks like a bus stop to me.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
all right,
can't see that.
I actually like the one in the center there better than,
all right.
than
This one, okay, so this one, when we saw the drawing, we did basically what Bob just did. But you've got a sand bucket with different sea life benches around it. So again, at first, none of us were very blown away, but the total height is 16 to 18 feet. And their portfolio was phenomenal. So I don't know what happened maybe with the drawing, but you know, when we were looking at that bucket of tulips and even just the elephant and how they're able to keep something completely stainless steel, but the detail is so fine, it was really impressive. All right, so here's kind of a snapshot. These all are the ones that we've gone through. These were all top rated among 3 or more committee members. And I kind of just wanted to put them all on one page to give you a really easy way to glance and kind of compare them all against each other to see what catches your eye, what draws you in more. And then at this point, you know, discuss, and if there were some in your top that for whatever reason did not make the presentation, let me know, because I do have the full presentation on the computer as well, so we can look it up and go and find any of the other ones.
All right, well, looking at the survey of the sea life, and there was one that was on my list, it was the turtle one.
I know, I like that one too.
Yeah, I had that on
So
my
that-
list too.
That one didn't make it in?
Did not.
The large with
The
the,
giant turtle.
oh, the 3 turtles. Yeah, I like that one too.
Okay.
I have questions about its durability, how they were
Right.
attached and, you know, to each other. But I thought that was pretty impressive.
It was just, I mean, that's just one that's on my list that's not on that list. It's like the only one.
Okay.
And I just think the general public is gonna want something like the surfboard thing,
Yeah.
you know, or the one that almost looks like a sign like from Disney or something, the dolphins with the sun.
You know, I will add, and again, we are staff, so we get the luxury of being able to say, well, we didn't vote, we're just staff, we just made the presentation. But the only, you know, again, when we were having conversations internally, we brought in our manager that's over our communications and branding for the city as well. And the only thing that we all kind of talked about with the turtles, actually I think that was one of Heather's favorites as well, but getting to turtle. You know, we've already got a massive turtle mural. The smaller sculptures we're gonna do is branding through the downtown. We had already seen and knew that the turtle won. So, you know, do we want a turtle mural here, and then a small turtle statue, and then an entryway turtle, and then do we become, you know,
Yeah,
turtle
that's the
state?
point I was making with the Nautilus. It's
Yeah.
not indigenous to this area, obviously, but it's a
Still beachy.
variation on the theme, not so turtly.
Which there, I love turtles, nothing wrong with
I
turtles.
do,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm
turtles
not
are
knocking
good.
the turtles.
Mammals and turtles.
It looks like they're gonna put a giant turtle on the back of Beach Bowl too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they have, there's,
Oh, it was just a sketch last
If
Yeah,
anyone
there's
can find
several
out who
turtles.
that artist is, let us know,
Okay.
because we can't find them. I wanna know.
I would like to add to what Taylor said when we were talking internally about the ones that we liked. We kept saying, well, I like this one, but maybe not at this location.
Yes.
So keep in mind that when you guys, after you make this
Exactly.
selection, the next thing we're gonna look at is what do we wanna put at the pier parking lot for the entry, and what do we wanna put in
Exactly.
Latham Plaza and all these other locations. So
Yeah.
when I look at stuff like the surfboard one, that was one of my top, but not for this location. I'm thinking
Right.
that
For the
would be
pier.
cool over by the
Right.
pavilion
Yeah.
or in front of the pier.
Yeah.
So
Plaza.
if there's one that you guys all really
That's
love, but not for this site, that it's not a lost cause. We
Absolutely.
can work with the artist to put it somewhere else. I think that's the beauty of getting this many submissions that everybody likes.
Yeah.
I think this is a spot, a place where we can put actual, you know, sculpture.
Something unique, a little different.
Yeah, something unique and not anything that needs to be branded or, you know, done, redone. It's a good spot for, you know, monumental piece.
Stonehenge.
Do we wanna, maybe each say, I would eliminate these three and see if that's something?
Yeah, and so
Or
at
you
this
choose
point,
for them,
what you guys can do, and,
or
you know,
not.
if you want to narrow it down, or, you know, however many, and we can schedule, like, you know, we already plan to have a special meeting, schedule interviews, interview people, and, you know, kind of get a feel. I think that always helps us to get a feel for the artist and who, you know, you're gonna be working with.
Yeah, do you think this process might be a little more involved than our past couple of ventures?
I
Because
do and I don't.
this is a big one, this is
Yeah.
like,
It shouldn't be. I
It
mean,
shouldn't be?
No, not from my perspective, just because, you know, what I'm gonna do at this stage, then I take your recommendations, I set up interviews, I conduct interviews, we ask the same questions, and then from, you know, a contractual point with the city, it's all the same.
it's all the same. I was
So-
talking about questions I would like to ask, you know, the artists is, you know, a lot of these just weren't enough information for me to make a solid decision
Okay,
compared to some others that were like, answered all my questions and maybe weren't as good artistically, but, you know, there was some unanswered kind of things that went into my decision-making that I know as an artist, they would probably bend over backwards to accomplish,
okay.
given the fact that it's such a large piece with
Yeah.
a pretty hefty
Big
price
deal.
tag on, you know, but then again, I mean, there's, the competition is high. It's very, very good.
Yeah. And yet to Heather's point, you know, when we were going through, there were several that maybe weren't grand necessarily enough for this piece, or maybe were a little too, you know, whatever, and there were several times that we were like, okay, well, this would work in Latham Plaza, or this would work, and you could
Right.
almost use it as a shade structure in Latham, or over by the pier.
I feel you.
With public art, we are not bound to the typical procurement process. So we can go to any of these artists at a later date and commission a piece of art, which is a wonderful thing. Let me ask you guys this, does anyone have,
I was gonna say, were you gonna ask, is there, anyone wanna see anything that was outside
Yes.
of your 16?
Yep.
Can we look at 3173, 3688 again?
3688,
Yeah,
and that was not in these, correct?
correct.
Okay.
like the examples, but I did like.
Oh, the proposed, yeah, there we go.
I didn't know if anybody else had any thoughts. Obviously, enough didn't like it, but I thought the scale, I thought,
Like you can walk through it.
yeah.
In a heavy wind, though, those would be,
That might be an issue.
that was one of my concerns with the big, large leafy areas in a strong wind. They might just be very vulnerable to damage.
Right, very well.
I liked it too.
Yeah, Heather knows, this was, for whatever reason, early, I was just drawn to this one as well, right out the gate.
Same, yeah.
Toward the end.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I just thought, it was in my list, and I thought, interesting that it didn't show up in the top one, so.
Yeah.
All right.
When I look at it compared to our finals, I think there are others that I would choose over it, personally, but I'm not the only vote.
Does anybody else have another one while I've got this master presentation pulled up? Y'all want me to circle back?
I thought the fish goal bike was interesting, but.
Yeah,
Me too.
me too.
But I just don't, I think we get so much confused. with-
I agree.
Same.
Totally agree.
That one, really
And the
well.
kite one goes back to what we were just
Yeah.
talking about,
Same.
the wind, 120 mile an hour winds, that kite one was,
I really like that one
it
too.
was cool, and I can imagine it moving and stuff.
For real, moving for real. Like, we don't want that. We want it to look like it's moving and not really moving.
The ice cream cone thing I thought was simple enough, but probably not
Yeah.
gonna work.
Oh, yeah, we
People
did
didn't
like
like the orange,
The
sitting
orange.
inside the orange.
Yeah,
I love
that's
that
a little
one.
too old fashioned.
The colorful arch was on my top, but part of that was because it was musical, that got me. The kind of Tetris-y looking thing.
And the one that had the buoy,
Yeah,
the buoy I didn't go for, but some of the other things that were in his example
Yeah.
were really.
Yeah, I said, why don't we just put a buoy out there if you're gonna do a sculpture of a
Yeah.
buoy, but
Well, I like the buoy, but it's not the kind of buoys that we have here.
yes, yeah, exactly.
there we go.
But then look at his portfolio, like there was a couple of them that was like.
Yeah,
Oh, those are great, yeah.
yeah.
But they put the buoy.
I know. That was definitely one of those where, yeah, you click the
I think it
slide.
was like Florida versus that one.
What was the sculpture out of Davie, Florida, 8095?
Okay.
I don't have like,
Oh, that was the mermaid.
oh,
The
yeah,
visuals.
okay.
Yeah,
The portfolio was fantastic.
yeah.
This guy was, yeah.
From Spain or something.
No, he's, Davey,
Did you
Florida.
go to-
From Florence to Guadalupe.
Oh, excuse me, yeah, originally he was, yeah.
That might be questionable, but I liked it.
I liked it too, but then, yeah.
It's only like 84 inches tall, which is what, 7 feet?
Yeah.
If it were like,
Right.
I mean, come on, man, it's a sculpture, give me,
Here's some height.
give me like David, you know, Michelangelo's David or something, give me something that's big.
And really, if there are any other ones y'all want me to pull back into the running, let me know. I love this, by the way, for another location, we'll discuss later.
We know what you like.
Jim's laughing because when we first showed him this, I was like, I love this octopus, and you can't see, but he has on shoes.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any others you guys want me to jump to? Here's that kite. I think one or two had this one as well.
That's the one I was talking
I call
about.
it,
I was a sucker for it because it's musical.
I call it the Legos.
I love that idea.
I would just think people be crawling all over it.
Right, for sure.
Yeah. Not that I've seen it run.
I mean, it's almost, we have to decide between something that's
Yeah, I know.
Because, I mean, if we want to have something commercial looking, we go with the dolphins that are boxy and, you know, the colors are all there and it's metal, almost like a sign, or we do like the big swirl thing that's just,
Yeah.
or that.
The, the, you know, the monolithic, yeah, was caught my eye. It would be, I'd like to see them in different variations of height though, for some reason.
I'd almost say we already have the commercial thing, you know, the
Yeah.
and the beach bowl. And,
Exactly.
and, you know, other things like that. I hate to kind of compound that. It almost seems
Yeah,
Right,
childish.
Heather's comment definitely puts that.
We could use it
we could
somewhere
do that
else.
somewhere else.
Yeah.
yeah, we don't need this one to say Jack's Beach. This is, you know, this is a really,
That helps, you know, eliminate that kind of stuff.
Same.
this is a chance to really put something
Take out the board one, take
unique
out
there.
the.
Take out the dolphins,
waves.
take out, yeah. Take out the seahorse, take out the beach bucket.
Right, right.
I mean, I think that the big, the tile thing would be really
The
impressive.
wave, is that what you're pointing at?
I was pointing at the, what's it called, what we call it, Stonehenge on
Yes,
tiles on it.
yeah, I mean,
One of
it's,
those over there. The swirl looking. I don't know about the structures. Coral thing would be really cool.
yeah, the whole thing's cool. That, yeah, I like the Stonehenge type thing. It looks very interactive. You can, I mean, you can walk, the kids can walk in between those, much more so than, you know, than Nautilus, even though I really like that one. But, you know, there's about a handful up there that are really neck and neck.
So should we do a ballot and kind of list our top
Yes.
8 out of the 16 that we're all, people ready to do that?
At the top 5.
Or even the
Yeah.
top 5?
I am good with however many you guys think you can get to, and I can kind of go through the list and just get a yay or nay from y'all, or you know, however you want to do it.
And we could maybe go back to the top and go through them each and say, is this in your top 5 or
Okay.
8 or whatever we want to. Keep a tally.
Yep, that works. All right.
And then we'll just mark them down 1 to 10? Is that what we should do?
Just if you had to pick, let's say, 8, 5 to 8, anywhere in there, you know, give a yay or nay on if this is,
Yeah.
so,
Now, would those be, say if it's 8, would those be interviews? Yeah, I think that's what we need to do. That's kind of what I meant about a more involved process,
Yeah.
is maybe talking to more artists this time
okay,
than just a few.
yeah. Okay, well, let's start here. How does everybody feel, yay or nay, on moving forward with interviewing this artist? Again, here is their wave, I kind of call it the Dr. Seuss wave. And then this again, their portfolio.
That makes my top 8.
I'm in on that as well.
Okay,
All right.
yes,
Yes,
okay,
plus,
4262, that was what that one was.
Is that a yay or nay for you? Maybe. Okay.
Yeah, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10.
All right.
all right, so is this all 4 yes would like to interview with this one?
It's a 3.
3? Okay, 3 out of 4. All right. All right, so this is Swirl. She's local.
It's a plus.
Okay, so I got 2 yes on this one.
3.
Okay,
Pardon?
Is this in
It
your top
looks like
eight?
the other one, but yes, it's in.
Is
But
it
yay.
top eight?
Needs to be on a pedestal or something. See, those would, I would like to talk to, you know.
That's what we're doing, is trying to figure out who we wanna talk to.
Yeah, okay,
So, yes,
okay.
all right, so 4 on 4. Cool. All right, the lights.
I can eliminate that one.
Okay,
Yeah,
I mean, I really like it, but I agree with some of the comments.
yeah. All right, I've got 1 for getting rid of that one. Where's everybody else stand?
didn't make my top eight.
Okay,
It made my top 8, but I know it won't make the cut, that's fine.
okay, all right, so we will scrap that one. The octopus.
you can't vote it.
This is in my top eight.
Yeah,
4492, yeah, mine too, mine
Okay.
also.
all right.
Mine too.
Okay,
All right.
and Trey very reluctantly.
Maybe that one's 3.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna mark that one at 3.5.
Well, I didn't think you could talk to her, but
Yes.
I heard the comments. I don't-
Yeah. And after we go through this, I'm going to turn the big screen off and I'm gonna pull up Terry's individual comments and notes and compare to what we end up moving forward with, so I can let you know really if it's 5 out of 5 or, you know, whatever.
Gotcha, okay.
All right. The seahorse.
3432.
I can
Pass.
take that out.
Pass. Everyone said pass? Okay.
Say it again, Trey?
Take it out.
Yeah, I didn't fancy
Okay.
this one.
The Nautilus.
Take that one out.
I mean,
That's in my top eight.
Yeah, me too.
All right.
9388, definitely.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yep. All right. The surfboard.
Take it out.
I'm out.
Out.
Yeah.
But definitely considering for another location. Okay. Yeah. All right, this is one of our other local artists.
I'm out.
Same
Out.
thing. Yep.
Is that out? Okay.
Some other place, some other time.
Okay.
Too commercial, I guess.
Okay. All right. Stonehenge.
I'm in on that.
And
Number 1132, yes.
Okay.
I'm reluctant, so maybe 3.5.
Okay.
We got 4 yeses so far.
About 3.5.
I mean, so far we have 4.
Yeah, so this would be the 5th one that we're interviewing, which is totally fine. We can interview as many as we want. All right. Seashore Surprise.
I can take it out.
that's in my top eight.
I'm in.
Okay.
Huh?
Your deciding
You know,
factor.
I'll have to agree with you. It's, you know, it's very structural.
Okay. I'm pretty sure off the top of my
Somebody's gonna
head,
get screwed
this was
in
one
there.
of Terry's talks.
I mean, I think we can do it.
Yeah.
9955.
If someone gets stuck in it, it's their problem.
Yeah,
You shouldn't have to worry about that.
And that's on the record.
Yeah.
Don't touch it.
you bet it is.
Don't touch it.
Let me see. Okay, all right, last big one. All right, the coral.
9919, that one was in my top.
I'm in.
Same.
Yeah.
Okay. Easy peasy. The wave wall, that is some kind of a plexiglass, kind of translucent colored structure.
I can take it out.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm out.
okay.
Agreed.
All right. All right. like thing, structure, monolith.
9316.
I'm out.
Okay,
All right.
Agreed.
all right. Again, this is, local to Jack's Beach.
Yeah.
Out.
There isn't a bus stop there, right?
No,
Out.
Some of it place, some of it.
okay, all right, you know, that's fair. I reluctantly agree.
Yeah.
I like that one. All right, the sandcastle, again, for the sand bucket, and then the portfolio.
I actually thought somebody might put in an actual castle, sand castle,
There you go, Fred, you can,
but there wasn't one.
or even you know, a vision of a sandcastle.
Right.
You know, some, yes, something that would have
And the only
been,
reason I say that is because I remember in Myrtle Beach, they have this, you know, concrete
No, you're
sand castle, and it says Myrtle Beach, and you sit on it, and take pictures and
Well,
stuff.
But
Yeah.
it makes me so mad because the portfolio
What
is
makes it go
I will say at this time, you guys are only interviewing 7. So if there's any part of you that wants a sand cap or a sand bucket or anything that looks like their portfolio, up to you. No, this one wasn't my favorite. This was somebody else's.
Oh, okay. Can we have the elephant?
Yeah. There was one sculpture, I don't remember which one it was on, it had these round things that was going up on, like on,
Oh, on steel.
The ones that look like bubbles.
Look through.
what was the number?
I don't know. No, then they showed their actual proposal, and I was like, that doesn't look like that. But I don't remember what it was, doesn't matter.
At this point, right, Fred?
Right?
Yeah.
We'll have to do that somewhere else.
So are we skipping the bucket?
Yep.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten any positive, so we're gonna X the bucket. All right, now, let me,
Our teacher piled on the homework.
I have
this week,
6,
didn't
but
she?
one more other one.
we have the Dr. Seuss looking wave, the swirl, octopus, the nautilus.
Oh, the Nautilus, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Let me pull
The
up.
waves with the columns, the surprise, then the coral and concrete. That's the 7.
7.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
That's what I have to-
But there's not an octopus on that.
No, I mean, we can deviate a little bit because, after all, it's the Atlantic Ocean.
Actually, everything goes.
We can just tell the artist to make a turtle.
We got turtles.
Right. and
We
that-
have turtles.
Another suggestion was just a huge turtle, like a looking
I liked
life-size.
that.
Giant.
That was cute.
Maybe they were talking about glass on it or something like that.
No, that was, you know, I mean, that looked like a definite kiddie ride. There'd be, you put 10 kids on that thing and just,
Picture.
like a rodeo, a sea turtle rodeo. But I did like the glass in
Yeah.
of that particular sculpture. That kind of was intriguing.
Yeah.
It would have had to have been raised off the ground, but then again, if you raise a turtle off the ground, then you don't see the top of it, which loses its sort of appeal.
Okay, hang on.
Yeah, I would like to talk to the guy with the great turtles. I don't know how, the fins were just attached very,
Well, I said in the thing that, you know, we have structural steel going through it, and it wasn't really cast, he was talking about, it was stainless steel, like bent. and-
yeah, welded in and, yeah, I mean,
It was only like 8 feet tall, but it needs to be up on something.
yeah. I just have a vision for something monumental, or, you know, what I mean, it's an opportunity that we're not gonna
Having very.
happen because we're not gonna be able to fit something that large in other places in downtown Jacksonville Beach, you know.
Right, and when I know people want something, or
Well,
what they won't want,
Well, you know, I
we
mean,
gotta go with something that they can have.
yeah,
Oh,
I'm gonna ask dimension questions of each of these artists, you know,
A
I mean, like,
moron.
let's go big.
Why? Because I was just looking at this and I'm like, where are the numbers? And I wasn't, I
Yeah,
can't
the
scroll.
concrete one
Sorry.
looks like it could be
No, you're right, especially, maybe on the southern exposure of a few of them, those reflective tiles that when the sun hits them, it does. I mean, there's so many possibilities with that stuff.
See where we are.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's something pretty big, substantial,
Yeah,
and durable,
The light up way.
you know,
It's not gonna fall.
concrete tiles,
Right.
kids aren't gonna climb up it. It seems kind of simple in a way, but of course, the details are really getting close to it.
All right, sorry y'all, I'm having, oh, here we go. Okay. I was trying to find anything on Terry that was scored high. So, on Swirl, which is, I'm gonna hold these back up.
What is it in the Havoc?
Yeah, so, just so everyone is aware. Alright, on this one. Terry also agreed, so that would make this one 5 out of 5. He had this one ranked a perfect 10 out of 10 on his.
one more time?
Terry ranked this 10 out of 10, and
Okay.
so this makes this one unanimous, all 5 of you.
I just have questions about its durability.
The octopus, he also ranked a 10, so that would put us at 5 out of 5.
Very cool.
The Nautilus, he ranked a 9. So that would make 4 out of 5 on, or 4.5 out of 5 on the Nautilus. And then the other one that he ranked high was, this one he gave us 7, so not bad, but not in his top. So that one will be 4 out of 5. Or excuse me, 3 out of 5. This one he ranked an 8. And then this one he ranked a 10, making it 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
So even with the
It's
ones.
in the ballpark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, with all the ones you guys had agreed to interview, he, with the exception of the Dr. Seuss looking wave, the rest were ranked really, really high on his, so,
Which those first two are similar,
yeah.
you know, one that has
True.
more volume, they have the same aesthetic, you know.
Yeah. Alright,
Feel good about it.
this went way easier than I, guys, every time. But now, I will reach out to the 7, that we kind of starred. In the coming weeks, let me look at this, because this isn't necessarily something we don't maybe want to wait, our next meeting wouldn't be until September 21st. And so over the next couple of weeks, if you guys could kind of throw out some, either days, it'd probably be easier if you tell me days that are like 100% off the table, and then I can kind of work around that. And then we'll set up interviews. So I'll have to do,
We're talking same time.
yeah, same time, 3 to 5, and we'll do just like we did with the mural. I'm trying to look at our city master calendar to see. Oh, I'm gone on those days. Crap. All right, how does September 12 look? Do we not have, oh, never mind, that's Saturday. Yeah,
I could do that.
I can do that.
okay,
Afternoon,
3 to 5. Yep.
cool.
And then as backup, the 14th, does anyone?
I can't do that day.
Shaker Heights, Ohio.
That's that, like steel
Oh, the wall.
wave-ish kind of thing that we were worried about people
Oh,
getting stuck in.
oh, it was a wave. No, it was
It's
called,
the shell from the, above.
yeah, it was called beach something. Spiral.
What about,
955 was that?
probably a little quick, but I don't know if we can pull it together by next Thursday.
It's too soon, but the interviews.
I think so.
You gotta-
So, but
you gotta
everyone-
give more time.
The 12th looked good for everyone,
Yeah.
and preliminary, looking at Heather and my calendars on my phone, and then looking at the master calendar, I don't see any conflict. I will confirm that with the clerk's office and check our calendars back in the office. Make sure they're good with that, and then I will start sending out candidates' time slots, and we will do them just like we had done previously, where we'll Zoom call, ask them some questions. If,
What did we do last time, 15 minutes?
yeah,
Do you feel like that's adequate for this one? Do we need a little more time? What do you guys think?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
The interviews, 15 minutes?
That's 2 hours,
100 minutes.
basically,
Yeah.
7 people.
We seem to get accomplished in that period of time, don't we?
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah, I think so.
we've
Yeah,
streamlined it enough. I'm good with that.
I'm
Cool.
Okay.
Okay,
Because actually, a lot of our questions are one and the same.
yep.
Even though each one of us has a question, it's gonna be pretty much the same
Right.
answer we're gonna get.
And I will go and take the questions we did with the first two, because obviously they were murals, and kind of tweak those, and if there are some that are kind of repetitive, or we notice we were getting repetitive answers, I'll condense them into one question so we can make it more efficient and give them more time to kind of explain the process and things like that to us. So, and I'll send you guys what the questions are well in advance of the 12th, and make sure you guys are good with it. And you know, if there's anything that pops in your head that you think we should be asking, and it's left off, let me know, and we can, you know, make changes as we need to. That's easy.
Okay. Okay. Anything else for today's meeting?
I don't, just that, you know, again, in the future, it may be at the regular September meeting, maybe in October, but we will definitely begin diving into those other locations. You know, October 1st, our new fiscal year will start, so the budget will start over. And so we will then kind of go back to the drawing board with the art master plan and kind of start pulling out more projects, for the downtown.
Great.
And we may or may not at some point be getting facade grant applications for murals and things. And so normal facade grants just go straight to the CRA. But I actually told the CRA at their meeting this week, anything that comes through that is, you know, mural, decorative bike racks, decorative, any kind of artistic element that someone's requesting money for the facade will come to you guys first. To kind of get the input and make sure that we're kind of following with the vision of the art master plan. And other than that, that's all I got.
Did you just mention when Ernesto is gearing up to start?
He is planning to get started hopefully next month, September.
Oh, okay.
So
It was
originally it was
like late
August,
yeah.
but when we kind of had to
Okay.
wait to get CRA approval and then to get council approval and revisions,
Gotcha.
you know, we couldn't expect him to keep holding a date when he wasn't 100% sure. I will say I have the signed contract from him. I've got all of his vendor forms and everything. They've all gone into finance, and so
Cool.
that's when we check backgrounds, check all that, and he's
Go.
good to go.
I'm going.
He was finishing up a job, I believe he's out of the country if I remember correctly right now, and he's supposed to be back, not next week, but the following, and then he was gonna give me a call, and we were gonna kind of work out the exact date, but he anticipates taking about 2 weeks.
Great.
He had something on Instagram last week, they were like in Ohio or something, doing some underpass, mural
He's-
festival or something.
His schedule is crazy, and well, and Christian Stanley, the guy that did Arcade Building, I followed him. I mean, they are all. He was just in Europe a couple weeks ago, and then he was back here, and then he was overseas. I mean, it's fascinating to follow.
Yeah, it is, they do a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Because didn't we sort of like, toss around the idea of a meet the artist kind of a gig?
Absolutely.
That'd be cool.
But we're gonna wait till it's not 115 degrees.
Yeah, makes sense.